Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have finally purchased something that has been on my wish list for I don't even know how long. Over a year, that's for sure. So I finally got myself the Faber-Castell 120 Albrecht Durer. This is the watercolor version of a polychromos, pretty much. And what's cool about these is you can use these as a base and then like build on top of them with your polychromos. So they're really fun to work with. I've been watching people play with them, or I should say color, not play, but you know what I meant. I've been watching people use them, and they've always been on my list because they look so fun. And the closest the only watercolor pencil I have is Arteza. And so I'm extra excited to try these out because I just want to see if they're as awesome as the hype has been built for like a year now. So, but real quick before we swatch, this is not a review. This is just me swatching and sharing my happiness of finally getting these. If you're a weirdo like me and like to smell the fresh cut wood smell, yes, these have it. It's my one thing about polychromos to this day. I'm mad I took them out of this metal case and put them in a normal case because they lost that smell. So the Albrecht Durer, instead of being round barreled like the polychromos, it's got the hexagon, but it still has the color dipped end. Thank you for that, Faber-Castell. And then, of course, it has a little water brush symbol letting you know, hey, you can use some water on this. And then the brand name. It does have a barcode because these are open stock. And then you have the name and the number. Now, the one thing I will warn you about is the name on some of these don't align with the polychromos. So when they changed the names on polychromos, they didn't update the name on the Albrecht Durer. And now they're changing polychromos names again. So there'll be even more that won't match up with these. That said, the number is the same. So 117 is this here is the same color as 117 in my polychromos. Whether the name changes to whatever it wants to change to, it'll be good. So yeah, I thought I would swatch these out with you guys, kind of give a first impressions. Ignore the really messy charting I did. Couldn't find my pen, so I was trying to use a Sharpie. Didn't work well. It was just an all-around hot mess, but it doesn't matter because these are freshly sharpened, as you should always sharpen a brand new pencil. Any manufacturer, whether it's a budget pencil or an artist grade, there's always residue that can get on them, so you want to sharpen them up. So I sharpened all of these, and I can't wait. So let me zoom you in so you can actually see what on earth I am doing, and we'll go from there. Okay, I have you at a little bit of an angle just so that you can actually see without my big old hand in your way. My hand will always be in the way. It is the thing, holding the pencil, but less is more. So I'm going to put white down, but of course I don't expect you to see the white. I don't even see the white. It's there, I think. Same thing with ivory. These will be kind of a wash, but I'm still going to put them down just so I can swatch them and complete my chart. So let's get the ivory in there. You might see the ivory. I don't know. Depends on the lighting. So what I do with watercolors and water mediums or water soluble anything, I always just fill in right here and go maybe about a third of the way, and then I activate it and drag it because I want to see kind of how the gradient of the color is naturally. So we'll have cream. So basically I'll just put the color down on all of these ones from the first tray. We'll activate them, see what we got. I'm not pressing hard, I'm just kind of putting a little light layer there. I'm assuming, like with anything pencil, that's water activated, the more you put down, the more color you're gonna get. But these are watercolors, so they're a little easier to wash out than your, like, say, Inktense. I should make sure I'm doing the right numbers, because you never know. Yes, always double check your numbers to make sure you're not swatching the wrong pencil. Things fall out of order all the time. I couldn't fit the whole name in half of these with a Sharpie, so it's like everything's abbreviated. Though if I would have thought ahead, I would have just done the number, because like I said, they're changing Polychromo's names. Have they done that yet, or are they just still threatening to do it? I know it'll be eventually on their new sets. I just didn't know if they had already started it or not. Okay, and then we got dark chrome. All right, I had to pause. Sorry about that. Had an interruption, so I don't even know what I was saying before I paused. Oh, I think I was saying about the Polychromos. If anyone knows when they're actually going to do that, or if they have already put those on the new sets, I'm pretty curious to know. I know the list of the list of the names is out there. I will be quite honest, I haven't looked. Probably because I'm just salty about it. I'm like, why are we doing this? All these names are beautiful. Leave them alone. Okay. So, I mean, I assume these colors will be a lot like the polys, and, you know, obviously a little bit more muted depending on how much water I put down, but it'll be fun because I know how the Polychromos colors work, so it'll definitely be fun to pair them. But I just want to see what an artist grade watercolor pencil is like, because like I said, the only watercolor pencil I own is the Arteza Expert, and I know they're not the best. Okay, so deep scarlet red. A long time ago, I had pre-ordered the museum, not pre-ordered, just bought museum aquarels from Blick, and they kept back ordering them and kept like pushing back the back order date. And so finally I got frustrated and I canceled them and ordered different stuff in their place. So I am still kind of curious on the aquarels. I mean, but they also have the super colors too. Gosh, they have so many. There's so many watercolor pencil brands and just pencil brands in general. But like I said, it's part, you know, for the art and part for the collection, I guess. I'm one of those people where I'm like, if I know that pencil is out there, I gotta try it. And the beauty of Amazon, if you buy it from there, is they don't question it when you return it. You're like, I don't like these. Because like I've said before, I did Polychromos, not Polychromos, oh my gosh, I got polys on the brain, that's my problem. I did Pablos, and with the Pablos, I did not like them, and I had sharpened them and everything because I was getting ready to swatch them. So I sharpened them all out, and then halfway through my sharpening, my swatching, should I be filming today is the better question to ask. Halfway through swatching, I was like, oh, I hate these things, and I just returned them. I mean, they had been sharpened and everything, and Amazon took them back, which was great. But yeah, I was not impressed with those at all at the time, but I'm starting to wonder if I got a bad batch. Because everyone else I know, well, I can't say everyone, there's a couple people that have agreed with me on the Pablo experience, but a lot of people I know really love their Pablos. And so I am thinking of getting Pablos again and trying them. I mean, worst case, I return them for a second time, and then I will definitely know by then that they are not for me. But yeah, I'm kind of curious on the Pablos. I know they're a harder lead, but I mean, I've seen them used and they look beautiful. I don't know. For me though, the ones I had were scratchy. It wasn't the hardness of the lead. I mean, I've got polys, I've got a few other brands that are pretty hard. That doesn't bug me. Like Derwent Artist, those are really hard pencils. So that wasn't the issue. It was They're very, very scratchy. I had a lot of scratchy issues with them. So that was my big thing. And I made it like halfway through and I was like, okay, there's way too much scratching on the page. I mean, you would actually see lines in my swatches. So that's why I'm kind of curious. Like my Arteza Expert Watercolor, so those leave like a, chalky isn't the right word, but just a weird texture on the page. So I'm kind of curious like what the texture feels like on the page after you use these. There's so many things I want to know. Plus I'm getting back into watercoloring. Not from the adult coloring side. I used to do a lot of watercolors back in the day, like pictures and whatnot. And I'm trying to get back into that. And what's funny is I can watercolor like a painting, but I really struggle with watercolors like with adult coloring. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I do a lot more loose watercolors when I'm doing my painting, whereas coloring, you know, can't be as loose. I guess it could. It's just a matter of going out of the lines, but I think that's part of it, is just my watercolor style, we'll call it. But I've always wanted to get these because these would be really fun to do pictures with. I'm sorry if you hear some banging in the background. They are installing my sprinklers. They accidentally cut my lines while they were trenching. I just had a feeling that was going to happen. Let me zoom you guys in just a teensy. Trying to get you guys close, but not like so close that you have a gigantic hand. So the ivory you probably won't see. I barely see it. Cream you should be able to see. That is a pretty color. Okay, light yellow glaze. Oh, I love how these wash out. Cadmium yellow, or cadmium yellow lemon. I'll admit, Polychromos has got some long names, because I could hold it like that. All right, light cadmium yellow. Ooh, these are smooth. Wow. If you add more water, you could totally lighten those up even more. Okay, I'm in love. I'm in love. Why didn't I buy these last year? I should have. I was like, I don't know if I want to spend that much on watercolor pencils. And now, yep, these are, oh, so smooth. And the color is gorgeous. But look how it spreads when you add the water. Like, look at that. That is a good pencil from the watercolor. Because, yeah, with my Artezas, they don't spread like that. They kind of plop. Where you leave them is where they land. They spread a little, but not like this. This is just dreamy. And look how it dissolves. Like, no effort to get that to dissolve. So that's actually really good. Like my Arteza Expert, the lines show, but these just melt. Look at that. Yeah, these are awesome. Yep, I'm not even putting that much water. I'm definitely not putting any pressure. I'm just lightly touching this with my little zig here. Ooh, that color is gorgeous. But see how the lines like instantly dissolve the second my brush touches it, and they just, look at that. That is a good pencil. That's what that is. I mean, I've never had a bad experience with Faber-Castell, I'm not gonna lie. I've always had great experiences. Love my polys. I love that too. Yeah, these things are perfect. Sorry, I can't get over how easily they just melt. Melt was not the right word. Dissolve. They dissolve. But look, and then they just move around with you. Oh, so perfect. Yeah. Sorry, Arteza. You got nothing on these. Good effort. Solid effort. That was me just going straight out of the lines because I'm a sloppy watercolorist. Like I said, I'm all about that loose watercolor. Don't need to stay in the lines. I like it when things are just all over. And then, like I said, you can go over these with polychromos. I mean, technically you can go over these with any pencil, though it doesn't have to be a poly. Ooh, the way that blends out into that pink is very pretty. Might have a little too much water on my brush for that one. But yeah, this is very pretty colors. Not that I expected them to be dull or anything to that effect, because polychromos are very vibrant and beautiful. But these are just silky. I'm loving that. Ooh, that pink Madder Lake, that's pretty. Oh yes, I'm gonna have fun with these. Do let me know, guys, in the comments below if you enjoy swatching and first impressions, or if you prefer to wait for me to just do a review. Obviously, I can't swatch them on camera because I need to swatch to review. So, you know, I am always curious if people like watching swatching videos. I personally do. For a few reasons. One, for some reason I find it incredibly relaxing to just watch someone swatch pencils. I know that sounds weird, right? But also, you know, it's kind of nice to just get like first impressions. 'Cause sometimes there's pencils like right off the bat I can tell from swatching I don't want, like the Pablos, or at least the batch of Pablos I had. I knew instantly. I was like, oh, those are not gonna be good for me. So, you know, there's always that. Okay, it's time for a new tray. But, you know, watching others too, it's fun because then I can kind of see like their thoughts. And then, of course, you know, it is a first impressions, because sometimes a pencil will swatch great and then you go to use it and actually like apply it. You're like, wow, this thing sucks. But most of the time, or at least I've gotten far enough into my coloring career, we'll call it, that I can usually right off the bat with swatching tell if a pencil and I are going to get along. And I've been usually pretty right about it. Now that's just for me though. I'm not saying if I don't like it, the world won't like it, because like I said, a lot of people love Pablos and I'm like, I just don't know. A lot of people love Holbeins and I'm just, I don't know. I haven't given up on my Holbeins. They're still there. I'm not giving them away. But I'm trying to figure out like how to make friends with my Holbeins. I can't wait to see these blues. There's so many blues in the poly line. They have some pretty like teal colors too. See these names, light, how do you say that? Pithallow? Fallow? Some of these are always so wonky. But the thing is I love the names of polychromos. I always have. I mean, they're sometimes long and ridiculous. I mean, they're not like luminance ridiculous where you're like, I got no idea what that word is. Most of the time you can sound it out. But they're like kind of quirky and add to the personality, so I still don't understand why they're changing them. It's even better if you know why they're changing them, if there's a specific reason or they're just trying to modernize, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. And I'll be honest, I'm too lazy to look into it, so I'm relying on someone else to tell me what's up with that. Cobalt. Yep, here we are into those turquoise and aqua colors that I love from Polly's. Dare I say, I might like these ones better than the aqua colors of my Prismas, and that's saying a lot, because you all know how much me and Prismas were like tight. So for me to be like, ooh, I love these aquas more. Can't talk too loud though, I got a whole bunch of Prismas next to me, they might hear it. Love the greens. I would be freaking tickled pink though if they added more to their collection, but I know they have no intention of doing so. Like if Polly's expanded to a 150. I've noticed most brands though, they pretty much, you know, give up at the 120 mark. There's only, what, Holbein's and Prisma that are a 150? Well, I guess Black Widows are close. They're like, what, 144? So, runner up there. But yeah, most of the others are like 120 is like the industry standard, I guess, for a big set. Unless you're talking Felissimos, but that's a whole different ballgame. I mean, we're talking like 500 pencils. But as you've seen from my swatching videos, there are quite a few of those Felissimos that are really close to one another. It kind of proves the point that it might be hard to actually have 500 unique colors. But I will reserve that judgment for once I have all 500 in another 1 year and like 10 months. And then we'll talk about it then. Because I'll be swatching them in color family order, and then I can actually see like how many are the same. I will swatch the metallics from this set, but just FYI, I will never use them. Which is why I didn't even like label them on the chart here, but I'll still swatch them so you guys can see them. Like even the poly metallic ones are just sitting in the, they were put in the corner of my pencil case. They're on timeout. I think the only time I've actually used a metallic pencil is like in wood grain. But I don't use a metallic to make the actual metallic color. Like, I don't use a gold pencil to create gold. Instead, I use a bunch of yellows and browns and whites. Same thing with like silvers and stuff. But it's just because you don't get that depth. But the only metallics I use are the watercolors that are like legit metallic watercolors. Those ones I'll use. And I did not put these in color family order. I just left them in the order they came. I do have them in color family order on my Polly's. I used Color with Claire's chart. She has an awesome chart. So I had done that. And I'll probably end up going back and doing that with these later. But for now, I was just too excited. I had to slap them up on a swatch chart. Oh, and you know what? I think some of you have asked me. So these swatch charts here, I don't make these. These are from Mystic Sparkle Wings on DeviantArt. She offers them free of charge. They're beautiful. So you can definitely go on there. She has a massive range of them too. I kid you not. Like every size. She even has like ones for gel pens and markers. But I am going to start creating my own swatch charts. And I'm not selling them. They'll be free of charge for all you lovely people. I had asked, or someone had asked me if I would share my Felissimo swatch charts that I made. And so I said, sure, why not? Like, you know, and so I'm sharing that. And then they had asked, well, would you make other swatch, you know, charts too? So like, yeah, I could do that actually, because I've always wanted to. So I will be, it's work in progress already. The Felissimo ones are ready. I just need to record a video. Okay, I went overboard with the water there, but still it's pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this blue. Like I said, the blues and the turquoise aqua colors. Oh, so gorgeous. I just love how these dissolve though. Yes, I'm gonna say that through all 120 probably. Prepare yourself now. But I mean, look at the color. I think that's one reason I love watercolors. They're so subtle and yet so pretty. And they don't have to be like a pastel watercolor to get a pastel effect. You want a pastel effect, just add more water, or sometimes if you want, you know, you can mix in some white, but I mean, honestly, the water trick is 99% of the time gonna work. So you can completely change a color by just saturating it. I'm loving this. Look at that color. That is so vibrant, and it's a watercolor. I definitely want to see them also when they dry, because they can be really vibrant and then kind of go wah wah. So, but I also want to feel the paper once it's fully dry and see if it has that same funky, chalky feel that the Artesas are so kind to leave behind, because I don't like it. Like, I hate that feeling they leave. Yeah, see, look at these teal colors. They're so beautiful. There are some people out there that do amazing artwork with these pencils too. Not just coloring, like straight up artwork. They use the pencil basically to sketch it out and then do their thing, and they blend them all together, and it's like freaking magic. Just have to remember to wipe off your brush. I really hope you don't hear that tapping noise. I'm so sorry if you do. Like, they're gonna be here all week, people, so I'm gonna have like no videos recorded if I wait for like my sprinklers to be done. So I kind of have to just power through with the disclaimer of noise. Now, I'm not using my watercolor paper to swatch these, and that's just because it's so friggin' expensive that I didn't want to waste it. But probably when I put these in color family order, I will swatch them out on watercolor paper, because you do get a different effect on watercolor paper. Not like anything dramatic though. Kind of like quickly swatching markers on non-marker paper. When you're not like trying to actually blend and do all sorts of crazy stuff, it's not a huge game changer. But like when you go to color a picture and you're using like normal cardstock and not marker paper, you'll totally notice the difference. Okay. What do you guys think so far? I'm thinking these are gorgeous. Oh, so beautiful and perfect. For those of you who have like the Supra color, and then the Museum Aquarelle, let me know what you think in comparison to these. If you have these also, what the big difference is to you, or if you even notice a difference. All right, we're on the last tray. Goes pretty quickly, doesn't it? Yo, I can't get that first pencil out. Okay. But yeah, these don't require a ton of pigment down at all. Let's see. So this is an example. Salmon and coral. Those are different names in the sets I have now. Don't want to ask me what they are because I can't think of the name. The number's the same though. Coral, I want to say, is either medium, light, or dark flesh. It's one of the fleshes. But why did they change it? Coral sounded so much better. And it is a coral color. Yeah, so a lot of the skin tone ones I do know have different names on the actual polychromos. Cinnamon is the same though. So is this Pompeian red. India red. I actually like the hexagon shape. I'm not gonna lie. It for some reason feels more comfortable. I don't know. That's a good one. Sanguine. Burnt ochre. Light yellow ochre. Oops. Getting into the colors I use to make gold when I'm using polys. Naples yellow. Almost to the end, guys. But yes, I am definitely already enjoying these. Kind of kicking myself for not buying them. And then you're probably like, why'd you buy the Arteza Expert? It's just honestly, I wanted to try out a watercolor pencil because like I said, I've only done the little palettes and tubes of watercolors. So I had never done the pencils myself and I was kind of curious and I didn't want to spend 200 bucks on watercolor pencils. So I did the Arteza Expert just to try them out. Plus I had just done the Arteza pencils. Oops, sorry about that noise. So yeah, it was just kind of wanted to test the waters. I forgot to mute my phone. When I'm in recording mode, like all my notifications are quiet, except Facebook. Facebook is rude and ignores the fact that you're recording and just pings on your phone. Everything else goes silent except Facebook. It's like they bypass that. So I've been muting my phone, but I forgot right before filming this. Clearly, if you heard the ding. Walnut. Polys and, well, this set as well have such a great array of browns. And I love that polys still got grays in there, considering most sets don't go crazy with the grays because they only have 120. You know, polychromos still had amazing color selection and warm and cool grays. And I know you can make your own warm and cool grays. It's not that hard. It's a matter of just layering with black or white, but I'm a lazy colorist. I should have named my channel The Lazy Colorist. Hindsight is 2020, but yeah, I just don't want to be bothered with layering and creating a color if I don't have to. So I always appreciate those sets that don't force me to do it. Okay, now we're on warm gray 1. Let's see, cool gray. I always find it interesting though how they're warm grays. So they start from 6 and move backwards, and then when you get into the cool grays, it counts upwards. Both sets come that way. But technically, if you think about it, they're just playing off the grays. So like you're transitioning slowly from a warm into the cool. I don't know if I'll get a case for these or just leave them in the tin. You know, the tins really don't bug me, and sometimes I found it harder to, you know, maneuver with cases. The cases are great for traveling around, but like, you know, here I just have 3 trays. I could pull all 3 trays out, scan them, grab what I need. It's kind of the same with all my Derwents. That's why they're in the trays still. Because once you put them in those cases, everything is split up so much that you're constantly like flipping through the catalog of colors. Okay, here's the metallics. I didn't label them. I'm gonna go halfway with these because I want to see the actual color. But I didn't label them because, well, 1, you can pretty much guess what the color is, and 2, like I said, I don't really use them. Like even these lay down funky. Like, see, that one's laying down really crunchy and weird. I got no words. It's okay. I don't hold it against them. All right, red, violet. Ooh, that is lovely. Let's get into my 2 favorite pinks. Oh yeah, I love that one already. And coral, which they should have just left named coral, because look at that color. Beige red, I think that's light flesh now. Cinnamon. Oh, I like this. The thing I like about watercolor pencils and Derwent ink tints is you can create so much depth and like gradients, even with just one color, but you're not layering and blending for days. So they seriously save your hands a lot of pain. So if like you have a lot of hand cramps, I always say like swap over to an ink tints, or heck, you could actually switch to markers too. Save your hands, give them a little break. Beastre, however it is said. I've heard it all the different ways, so I figure whatever way I feel like saying it is right, because we all say it so differently. Unless Faber-Castell like hops on and they're like, no, it's said this way. I'm just gonna go with Beastre. I love the coverage. Now these are watercolors, so technically that means they would reactivate once dry. Do some tests though, because like my Arteza Expert, they reactivate, but not really. I mean, it's not like permanent as in an ink tint, but they don't, like I can layer on top of them and they don't move that much. So I'm curious if these ones do. Because I've seen people layer them after they're dry with another layer of their watercolor, and it doesn't seem like they're moving around. Whereas like my pan watercolors, they move. So like the second you go over them with water, they definitely, they definitely re-wet and activate. But that's why they're in those little palettes, so that you can constantly re-wet them, because if you couldn't, you would ruin a palette the day you used it. So oh my gosh, these landscapers though, like they know I have a dog and they constantly leave my gate open. Like, okay, you know I have a dog, so why don't you close it for one? And then like my dog, you know, escaped. Luckily with all her training, she comes when called now, but it was like, you know, heads up, if you see my dog, I don't know, leave my property, how would you tell me? I'm getting a little annoyed about that. And I probably wouldn't be as annoyed if they hadn't cut my internet line at the same time, so. But our internet guy was like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. I get that, but why? Okay, so here's the silver. And then this is the gold. I'll hold it up to the light too and see if there's any shimmer. This is like that bronzy color. I don't think there's really gonna be, yeah, there's like there's no glitter up in there, no shimmer. Well, no, wait. Okay, yeah, there is, but you probably can't see it on my camera. Let me zoom out if I can remember how to do that and put you guys back up this way. Maybe. I'm having some camera problems today. Okay, look at those luscious colors. And yeah, they don't leave that chalky feel that I got with my Arteza Expert. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like this funky, you felt like you were coloring on top of chalk. So they do dry very smooth. But look at those colors when they're all with water. They're so pastel-ish and beautiful. And of course, you can make these darker. You can add more layers, you know, or just put down a heavier coat of the initial pencil color. Like, there's no limits on that. Like, I want to try something though. Let's grab some turquoises. Helio turquoise. Where's that one? And cobalt green. I just want to see how they blend up with one another. Like, because that's one thing with the experts, that line there, you would totally see that line. I want to see if we can wash it out. Same thing with ink tints. You can see the line if you're not careful with ink tints. Should go the way my hand naturally goes. Oh yeah, that blends out perfectly. See that? No lines. Can't even tell. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes. These are going to be effortless for backgrounds and just watercolors in general. Because the lines dissolve so quickly that it doesn't leave anything. Let's try something. I'm just trying to use the colors I already got in front of me. What's this one? Hooker's green. Let's grab permanent green, or grass green even works. Alright, so now we have two colors that are very different. Very light, very dark. Yep, they blend out just perfectly. No line. That is what you want in a watercolor pencil. I mean, and you can bring this one down more into here if you want and blend them out even more. But I just wanted to see if you would see a harsh transitional line, which I got with my Arteza Experts, and I even get it with my ink tints if I'm sloppy. But you don't get any transitional lines. Looking at my swatch chart. With those being dry, I just want to see. Yep, so it does reactivate because it's coming back up on my water brush. The extent of what it would reactivate, though, I think would just kind of depend. But I mean, these blend perfectly, no lines at all, and so that's a good sign, which means I can make a background that doesn't look like I'm a noob at watercolor pencils. So, I mean, of course, you'll have your harsh lines wherever you stop, but the secret to that is just to keep circular buffing your way to wherever you're going. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with these overall. I'm impressed. I mean, I already loved the polychromos colors. I mean, these are now like the muted version because of the watercolor. But I really do love how these blend together so seamlessly, because I took a very light green and a dark green and they still were happy together. So let me know in the comments below if you have these, what you think, what you do with them. Give me some project ideas. And I'll start using these in some coloring books because I think these would be really fun, especially because I can take my polys right on top of them and change them up a bit. But thanks for hanging out with me while I swatched my new toy, toys, I guess. And until next time, take care.